Hello there, I'm Gloria Makarenko. Now, getting outside is such a huge part of what we do in this city. It's where our heart is. This is our Vancouver. Coming up, more BC homebuyers are opting for places away from the city. And Gibsons paddlers learn a thing or two from orcas about safe distancing. First, matching young volunteers with seniors and women afraid to walk home alone. Well, walking has certainly been a popular activity during the pandemic. It is outdoors, it's considered COVID safe, but the virus is not the only concern. A rise in anti-Asian hate crimes and some recent stalking incidents of women have made many fear walking home alone. Well, Vedanshi Vala is one of the founders of Safe Buddies. This is a program that launched April 10th. Hello there, thanks for joining us.
Hi, thank you for having me here today.
So tell us about this program. What is a Safe Buddy?
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess I'll just take it back to how it started. I'm from Bolt Safety Society, which is a federally registered not-for-profit organization that is operated entirely by volunteers. And we are launching the Safe Buddies program where volunteers are going to help walk seniors, women, and non-binary folks home safely.
All right, so why?
Well, primarily just, going back to what you said earlier with the increase in violent attacks against the Asian community, as well as the recent stalking incident in Vancouver. As a fellow UBC student myself, even seeing in the news that a UBC student was attacked near campus, all these things happening so quickly and so close together, it really, one person being injured or being unsafe should be enough reason to start something like this. But the fact that so many people are at risk is really the motivation behind starting this program.
Nice. Okay, so who are your Safe Buddy volunteers? What kinds of people are we talking about?
So we're talking about people, leaders in the community who have stepped up and said that I'm going to be a safe buddy. I'm going to help people get home safely. For their own safety, we don't reveal their identities, but just to give you a general idea, we have people ranging from very young, just above 18 to very old as well. So we have quite a diverse group of people volunteering in the program.
Okay, and how do you go about, screening your volunteers to make sure that they're safe too?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that's a really fantastic question. So what we do is, first of all, Safe Buddies need to apply through our website on an application form. Followed by that, they need to go through an interview. So a face-to-face interview over something like what we're doing today, over a video call. And after that, they also need to go through a training process where we instruct them on safety guidelines and whatnot. So we do our very, very best to make sure that we are screening our candidates so that by the time that they get out into the community, hopefully we have the safest people out there that can help.
Okay, so just, practically, how is this going to work? I mean, how does a person who just doesn't feel comfortable walking home alone, how do they get hold of a volunteer?
Great question. So actually, they can go onto our website or our mobile platform. It is a free space on the Wix mobile app. And what they can do is they can fill out a form to request a safe buddy. And they can do this up to 48 hours in advance. And at least 2 hours before they need to be picked up. So what happens is once they fill in that form, our HQ, our command center, we receive the request and we essentially figure out where the client is at and where they need to go, find a safe buddy in their region and pair them with that safe buddy. We plan a route, a walking route out that includes safe locations in the middle. So in case something happens and they need to escape into, let's say, a grocery store along the way just to get away from someone that might be stalking them, we do all that planning in the time that we receive the request until our safe buddies meet them in person to walk them to their destination.
I see, so a lot of logistics involved there. All right, this is still a broad area though. So if maybe you don't have a volunteer buddy available, I mean, what else do you do? I mean, could you use a smartphone to accompany people as they walk? A buddy on the phone?
That is exactly what we're actually doing. Thank you for bringing that up. So in the event that we don't have a walking safe buddy available in that region, let's say we get a call in Delta and our safe buddies are on call in Surrey at that particular time, then what we can do is we have phone call safe buddies as well. So they can get in touch with the client via phone and again, give them the planned route with the safe location. Same thing applied. It's just would be on the phone with them.
So what does this say about where we're at in the world right now, that you need, to put your heads together and really come up with a service like this?
It says that we have so far to go as a community, as a society. There's so much work that needs to be done. The fact that we even need to exist, the fact that our organization needs to exist means that people are not safe. So I like to say this thing that, the measure of success of our organization is if we don't need to exist. So really, it just shows that we all need to work together to ensure that we're keeping everyone in our community safe.
Now, I know this is just, again, recently launched. Do you have an idea yet of the demand and just how many volunteers you're going to need?
Actually, even before we launched this program, we've gotten email requests, and so many people have reached out saying that, this is something that they might see their elder parent needing. The child might be living in a different city and they're concerned for the safety of their elder Asian parent. And so, yeah, we honestly, until we start getting our clients, we might not know the exact numbers, but just based on the response we've received from the community so far, we can tell that this is definitely going to be something that helps a lot of people.
Well,
yeah.
No, please continue.
Yeah, I was just saying, I think it just goes to show that means there are that many people who feel unsafe. So just to bring the gravity of this issue back into the conversation, that's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no, you make a very good point. It's sad, isn't it? I mean, it's ultimately
Absolutely.
so sad. So thank you for offering a service like that. How do people get in touch with you? Whether you're a non-binary person, and women, seniors, how do you find a safe buddy?
Just go onto our website, boltsafety.org/safebuddies, and that form is going to be right there on the website.
Hey, thank you very much. All the best to you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for having us on here today.
Hi, I'm Matt and you're watching Our Vancouver.
All right, it's time for one of our favorite features. This is where we showcase a number of the photographs sent in by you, our audience. Dave Smith was out along the Nickelmeckle River in Surrey. He took in this lovely sunset. Wow, love it. Thank you, Dave. And Erms Kassam was taking a walk on Iona Beach in Richmond, where the view is always so fantastic. Erms, thanks so much for sharing that one. And finally, Steve Schultz introduces us to his dog among the daffodils. So much fun. What a character. Steve, thank you very much. And do send us more. It's easy. Just email your favorite photographs to us at bcphotos@cbc.ca. That's bcphotos@cbc.ca. Get out there with your cameras. Now, this pandemic has been especially difficult for Generation Z here in BC. They have suffered stunted careers, relationships that never had a chance to blossom, and opportunities that might never materialize. Well, CBC News spoke to 6 young adults about how this first year of the pandemic has affected their lives.
Hi, my name is Manusha and I'm a third-year student at University of British Columbia, and I'll be showing you my study space that I used to attend online classes. I prefer staying in my bed and use the smaller table that I have propped up on my bed. And yeah, that is how I usually attend my online classes.
So I was super excited for a new year and a new term, but thanks to COVID, I had to fly back and all my plans miserably failed basically. But that's okay. Kind of learned a lot from the entire COVID period.
I live in Chilliwack and I was supposed to move to Victoria. I go to UVic, so that was super disappointing. I chose UVic to move, so it kind of just felt like it almost didn't even feel like I was in university. I couldn't even comprehend. It just felt like high school. It felt like I was still on high school spring break.
I was a tour guide at SFU, and everything kind of just stopped. And
I knew I was going to be graduating. I had planned on attending law school in September of 2020, but then the pandemic made me rethink everything.
I really felt like I was just kind of a boat out at sea. I had no idea what I was planning to do.
I was looking towards my working summer job and looking towards getting started with university. I was really looking forward to a fresh start.
It's harder to focus because my classroom is my bedroom. So after class ends, I'm tempted to just close my computer and go to sleep and not study. It's also hard to focus with family coming home from work.
Missing out on the in-person socialization. I'm a really social creature, and being confined to my bedroom to do schoolwork and just seeing my friends' faces on a screen, it really bums me out sometimes.
It was a good break for me as well, reconnecting with my family, friends, I don't know, just staying home and spending a lot of quality time with my family, mostly because I've been away for almost 2 years, and I meet them for 2 months, like in a year. So they were really craving for like the family time that we usually have.
I got diagnosed with depression and anxiety, which is something that I never knew about myself before this year. And my trigger ended up being school and being unsure about expectations. But the thing is, the way I think about it is I would have gone through that exact same thing whether I was in Victoria or not. And my support system was so much stronger here. So I feel like the reason I'm more encouraged to reach my goals is I have figured out the tools that I need to succeed now. My perspective is pretty influenced by my parents. They've always said that school is important, and if you stick with it, you'll do fine. I don't think that's the case all the time. Burnout is real in law school, and doing it in a pandemic where there's no way to relieve stress by going out with friends or with classmates, it's not something I think they understand.
Like, I've never faced a bigger threat in my life. Like, it is like a beast, and it will it will beat you up. So I think for parents to recognize that and kind of support as much as they can would help a lot of people out, because you sit in your room all day, you don't really get to talk to people, and you get to have a conversation with someone, you kind of value it more.
I think that the older generations need to cut us a little bit of slack because I don't know if they would ever understand what it's like to have your future ripped out from under you, not once, but over and over and over again, and nothing feels like it's certain.
I think people underestimate how much we care about this crisis and how much we do want to affect positive change and make sure that everyone is as safe as possible. I've seen so much amazing activism over the past year from young people, whether it be directly related to COVID-19 or related to a lot of systemic racism that has been happening in Canada. And so I've been really inspired by young people. And I think that if any generation can move forward from a global pandemic, Generation Z or people 25 and under can persevere.
Coming up, Johanna Wagstaff offers thoughts on how spring cleaning can also save you money and help the planet.
Well, with spring in full bloom across the country and Earth Day right around the corner, it's a good time to reset in more ways than one. So I'm joined by Enviro Alley, aka Allison Bolton, a sustainability consultant here in Vancouver. First of all, happy spring, Allison.
Yes, welcome to spring. Happy it's here.
So many of us are in spring clean mode, myself included. What are some ways that people can create a positive climate impact in their own homes?
I think the first thing to do is check your cupboards. You likely already have vinegar, baking soda, rubbing alcohol. Those are foundations for so many do-it-yourself cleaning solutions that are gentle on the earth. They're economical, you don't need to buy anything new, and then you are ready to make a type of cleaner and disinfectant ready to go. So I like sticking with basic ingredients because we're a lot more conscious of what we're inhaling and what remnants might be left on our kitchen counters or where we brush our teeth. I think it's also the time when you're on a cleaning mission that you might be going through those closets, you might be looking for some new spring accessories. And this is when I'm encouraging people, take a look at the new online versions of the classic garage sale. Check out Craigslist. Kijiji in Victoria, Used Victoria is that community's favorite. There's also right down to your neighborhood buy nothing project groups on Facebooks where you can trade, you can give items, you can find, a way to repurpose things and make sure that things don't end up in the landfill. It's a great way also to try and find something secondhand, which is not only good for the budget, it reduces our consumption, which the earth always appreciates.
Now, many of us have been trying to get outside more and more this past year because of the pandemic. With the nicer weather, we're going out in full force. What are some tips to be thinking about going green outside?
I am always in the idea that you should have a tiny little reusable shopping bag in the bottom of your backpack, in your purse, in the trunk of your car. You never know when you might need it to get some groceries or you're running some errands. We can refresh our eco habits with that shopping bag, with our reusable coffee mugs. A lot of local cafes here in Vancouver, as well as Victoria, are taking those back because they make them behind the counter and then they pour them into your reusable mug. So it's a real great way to avoid all those millions of disposable garbage coffee cups that we do see everywhere in our parks and beaches all over the summer. If you're going out for ice cream, Mother Nature wants you to take the cone. Please say no to the plastic cup. Get your ice cream in a cone and say you did it for Mother Nature.
Allison, thank you so much. I feel like we need to check in every season, but until then, I'm going to look for you on the seawall with an ice cream cone.
Johanna, thank you so much. You are watching Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. Well, so many people on the coast love to spend time on the water. Well, the Gibsons Paddle Club has been doing that as a group since 1999. And since the pandemic hit, of course, they've had to come up with some creative ways to continue. Ed Hill is with us today. Ed is the founder of the Gibsons Paddle Club. Ed, hello there.
Hello, Gloria, from sunny Gibsons. Not so sunny today, mind you.
Okay, well, it sounds like it's kind of windy there right now. Where are you exactly?
Well, we're out in the gazebo. Its finger comes right out into the center of the harbor here, right at the entrance to the marina. And this is where the canoes and the kayaks all paddle past when they go out into the Salish Sea.
Oh, how lovely. So your club has a little bit of a history. You've been together since 1999. Who joins the club? Why?
Well, we are predominantly of the older generation. There are a whole bunch of us that are, of course, in their 40s, but a great bulk of us are past 55 up to even into their 80s. And we've been doing this for all this time simply for the joy of being together on the water. And we live in an area that, the indigenous people used these waters as their highways thousands of years ago, and we continue to use them now, not only to move around, but to just be with each other. And we do it 12 months a year. And through COVID, we want to keep Dr. Bonnie happy, so we're out in individual kayaks and canoes, and we load our canoes onto the water, properly distanced. When we're on the water, we're distanced. It's just been a wonderful way for us to face COVID.
I see. So what else has changed because of COVID? I mean, just the way that you load your kayaks and canoes and things like that. Anything else change?
Yeah, for us, we traditionally paddle in outrigger canoes, like you'd see in Hawaii or down in Vancouver under the Burrard Street Bridge or something. Those 6- and 4-seater outrigger canoes, and we also have the big indigenous Voyager canoes and the Salish Sea type of indigenous canoes, which incidentally even our school district owns 2 of those big canoes and people go out in them. But with the present conditions of COVID, we can't sit in those canoes together. We're too close. So a lot of us have resorted to being in smaller canoes and kayaks. So we're being safe as far as COVID goes.
I see. So even in the smaller vessels, though, you still sort of form pods, that type of thing?
Oh, sure. It'll be agreed. We're going to meet at a certain time. Down to the harbor we come. We load our canoes distance from each other into the water, and away we go. And because of the configuration of the waters and the islands around here, any time we want to paddle, we can find a time in the day to get out, no matter the wind, because one side or another will be protected. So we can do it 12 months a year. The only thing that'll keep us off the water is ice and wind conditions that are dangerous.
How often does that happen on the Sunshine Coast?
Well, of course, through the winter, there will be times when we could go a week without getting out, but then the weather turns and the water will have paddlers on it. It's hard to drive down the hill without looking and seeing a canoe out there past Molly's Reach somewhere.
Oh, nice. Ed, it's nice to hear that where there's a will, there is a way to get you and your group out on the water. Have a great spring and summer, okay?
We'll see you on the water. Thanks very much, bye.
A couple of years ago, we were out in an outrigger canoe and we had a pod of orcas come within 20 feet of our outriggers. So just magical to see these creatures in their marine environment.
So we talk a lot about being in a pod now that we're doing the COVID restrictions and that, and I feel a little bit like that when I'm out on the water, because we often see whales in groups of 2 or 3 enjoying the water together, and we do that when we're kayaking as well. We can see each other, but we're not too close, and we're taking care of each other and enjoying each other's company from a distance.
If you're looking for exhibits or entertainment that you can see safely, the Vancouver Maritime Museum features the work of Italian photographer Stefano Banazzo. He traveled the world and captured the images of shipwrecks. The photographs are on display at the museum until the end of July. And April 23rd and 24th, Surrey Civic Theatres presents 1 Hour Photo. So this is written and performed by Tetsuro Shigematsu. It's the story of a man who grew up in a fishing village on the Fraser River and was interned in a camp during World War II. So you can see this online. Just purchase a ticket by going to the Surrey Theatre website.
Hey, Grant Lawrence from CBC Music here. Please allow me to share with you one of the most dynamic and interesting rock bands to emerge out of Canada in a while. They're called Partner, and they formed in Sackville, New Brunswick when the members were attending Mount Allison University. Now, Partner really took off with the release of their debut album, In Search of Lost Time. It landed them on the shortlist for the Polaris Music Prize, and it won them the 2018 SOCAN Songwriting Prize for this great tune called Play the Field. Yeah, that's Partner with their award-winning song, Play the Field. Now, Partner is primarily made up of 2 best friends, Jose Caron and Lucy Niles. Jose is originally from Summerside, PEI, and Lucy grew up in Happy Valley, Goose Bay, Labrador. Exclaim magazine once notably bestowed upon Partner the title of Atlantic Canada's Best Lesbian Garage Band. And if there's one thing that every Canadian musician can relate to, no matter where they're from, it's the experience of dealing with Long and McQuaid. That's Canada's music store giant, which Partner captures in song with the permission of its owners. There's Partner with their song Long and McQuaid about the Canadian music store chain, now famous not only for having every Canadian musician's credit card imprint, but also for that song. Partner released their latest album called Never Give Up late in 2020, and it's filled with powerful songs that the band calls post-classic rock, including this one, on which Partner is clearly channeling their inner Rush. It's called Good Place to Hide, and a warning, this video contains both clowns and mimes.
In dark halls I am walking, a tour of memory. I feel the silence talking, it's whispers of the wind, and sneaking up behind me. There's a quick in my place, the world is over around me. Time erased. Good place to hide at the time, towards a good place to hide at the time. I lied all over my eyes, it was a good place to hide at the time.
From their new album, Never Give Up, that is the new prog rocker from Partner. It's called Good Place to Hide at the time, and Partner dedicates that song and video to director Milou Savage, who tragically passed away in her sleep shortly after she directed this video. Good Place to Hide at the Time by Partner is a song that you need to add to your 2021 prog rock playlist. I'm Grant Lawrence from CBC Music. Stay safe, and I'll check in with you again next week.
Coming up, how the hot housing market has locals going to extremes for a chance to buy a home. You are watching Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. So some regions in BC continue to see record-breaking real estate sales. And as Joel Ballard reports, some people are willing to go to extreme lengths to buy a new home, even if that means sleeping on the streets.
We've been waiting for almost about three days, pretty much.
Dozens of people are braving the rain and cold to get their hands on a townhome in Langley. But a lot of the people you see waiting aren't buyers, they're realtors.
In this market, you have to do whatever you need to do as an agent.
Even if that means camping out for 2 nights for your clients.
It's pretty difficult for them.
Both the Fraser Valley and Greater Vancouver real estate markets are hot. Properties are selling with multiple offers, buyers losing out in never-ending bidding wars. It makes securing a new build, which has one set price, a worthwhile, albeit cold and tiring, sacrifice.
We know the price, and we only have to be here for a couple of days, and we secure our units.
It's not until you get to the 20th person in line that you meet someone hoping to secure their own home.
A lot of people here are basically investors and speculators trying to snag the cheapest units, just kind of rent it out or reassign later on. I'm buying to live.
The townhomes are part of the Latimer Heights 74-acre community development just off of Highway 1.
Last year when everything blew up with COVID, we thought the demand would be reduced, but it's had the opposite effect, which has caught everybody by surprise.
And he says they've absolutely seen an increase in the number of people buying the units as investments rather than homes.
I'd say a year ago it was probably 10 to 20%, and we're guessing now that it's probably 40% on the townhouses.
It isn't just a seller's market in the Fraser Valley, but a record-breaking seller's market.
We've had record highs again for another 3 months in a row.
Low interest rates, pent-up demand, and potential homeowners searching for more space during COVID are driving sales according to experts. Anderson says there just isn't enough supply to meet demand.
As soon as the vaccinations roll out and everyone feels comfortable, we may see more people putting their houses on the market then, because we still have the issue, people do not feel safe letting strangers, being buyers and realtors into their home.
And until there's more supply, expect to see more campers and longer lines. Joel Ballard, CBC News, Langley.
Hi, I'm Jens from Finland. You're watching our Vancouver.
Now, when we talk about Canada's hottest real estate markets, we're usually talking about Vancouver and Toronto, right? But what about more rural communities like Powell River on the Sunshine Coast? Well, as Jacqueline Hansen tells us, small town real estate is heating up in a big way, usually only seen in the big cities.
An hour southwest of Ottawa, the real estate market in the small town of Perth is booming.
We have noticed a lot of Ottawa, Toronto families moving in.
House prices are heating up. From February of last year to this year, prices in the area increased more than 50%. In mid-March, Barb Armstrong and her husband put their house up for sale.
We thought, well, jeepers, maybe we should go for it now.
In 1 week, they had 35 viewings and 11 offers. The winner, $150,000 over asking and no conditions, a type of deal that's usually only seen in big city markets.
But it's these sort of satellite cities of larger cities that are seeing big increases.
This expert says people who have been working from home during the pandemic have spent the past year saving, and now they're going shopping for bigger spaces further away.
So you have a whole lot of pent-up money chasing very few houses, and they're able to finance those with record low interest rates.
We've spent good for sellers, but not so for some buyers, like Lars Reese Hansen. He sold his home in Comox on Vancouver Island in the fall in order to buy one he could better afford to retire in.
Most of the places that I've requested to view are sold before I actually get a foot out the door.
He expanded his search a ferry ride away to Powell River, but even there, prices jumped nearly 30% over the past year.
I now look at my retirement plans and I'm questioning whether or not I will be able to realize them.
The market is so tight in remote Powell River, Ian Jackson and his wife took a leap of faith when they bought their new house.
Bit of a scary moment, too. It still is, because we still haven't seen the place.
They sold their North Vancouver home in February.
Pretty central.
And bought this one after just a virtual tour and paid over asking. Leaving the big city behind and bringing some of its real estate frenzy along with them. Jacqueline Hansen, CBC News, Toronto.
April is World Autism Month, and CBC journalist Justin McElroy spoke with Stephen Quinn on the CBC's The Early Edition about how being autistic shapes his work as a reporter.
I'm able to look at a budget for the city and I'm able to compare that against 20 other budgets in Metro Vancouver. And some people will say, how did you do that? And I just go, I just did it. Like looking, finding that and sort of the repetition of it, which some people would find boring or numbing. For me, it's just like, no, I got this. But by the same token, talking to strangers is something that a lot of journalists have to do a lot of time and causes me extreme panic a lot because I don't know them. I can't necessarily react to their face right away. But for local politics, a lot of times you're talking to the same mayors and councillors all the time. You're dealing with similar issues. And so I'm able to build on that regularly and be able to, fight through some of the issues that I might otherwise have with daily reporting. And for local politics, be able to bring my expertise and skill set in a way that's really helpful.
When the pandemic hit, we ordered masks and we didn't get any. It's very, very important that the masks that we make are all medical grade. Even the general public, people in their offices, the schools, need protection.
Coming up, an innovative way to conserve energy from the hot water we use. Welcome back to Our Vancouver. I'm Gloria Makarenko. So you take a shower, maybe a bath, you wash the dishes, all that hot water stays hot, just washes down the drain. But what if you could take that water and recycle its hot water energy? Well, a BC man has created a company that is doing just that. Just watch.
What this is here is nice warm water that came out of these wash machines and would have normally just gone down the drains. When people have their shower, when they do their laundry, they're doing their cooking, they dump the hot water down the drain. That's energy that's just being thrown away. So what we did at Shark is just invent the way to make efficient, trouble-free recovery of that energy. So we don't deal with the wastewater. We just take the heat back and put it back in the buildings very, very economically.
So Washout is a laundry service for residential as well as commercial. To help give you an idea, our Fortis bills, we're kind of running in the $3,000 to $5,000 a month range when we were busier. With the Piranha system, we're hoping at a minimum to cut that in half. For us, the cost savings is initiative. It's cash flow positive for us. We were able to qualify for a grant administered by Fortis and sponsored by the province that paid for the lion's share of the Piranha system. And it's going to be completely transformative for our business.
Food processing plants, laundries, hospitals, breweries, they all throw away a tremendous amount of hot water. Well, we think we can have a tremendous impact on the environment and the energy scene by just recycling that energy continually.
63 years ago this week, the underwater mountain known as Ripple Rock was blown to smithereens just north of Campbell River. That explosion was a major engineering feat, years in the making, and it was the first TV event broadcast live across Canada through CBC News. Here's a look back at that historic day.
Good morning. My name is Bill Herbert, and with me is Ted Reynolds, and it's our lucky chore to be with you to describe for you the largest man-made non-nuclear blast in history, in peacetime history. Now, Ted, I wonder if you'd like to locate our position more completely, please?
You bet, Bill. Good morning. Out beyond us, you can see the villain of the piece, or the hero of the piece, as the case may be. Yonder lies Ripple Rock, 7,000 feet from us. Where is it? Well, for the benefit of those of you from other than the coast of British Columbia, this map will perhaps locate us for you. You can see the U.S.-Canada border here and Vancouver. Ripple Rock is 125 air miles from Vancouver.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
there it went. It went up with a massive mushrooming explosion that towered well up above the heights of land on both sides, 4, 5, perhaps 600 feet. It just kept rolling and rolling. The concussion wave hit us. It was 6 seconds after the first actual impact, an awe-inspiring sight.
Hello, I'm Mike in Yaletown, and this is our Vancouver.
Don't got a job, don't got a buck, don't got a house, don't got no throne. Don't got a plan, don't got a chance, don't see a hand to hold my own. But I got love. But I got love. So I rock my pain like a baby child, and I know that we'll be alright. 'Cause I got love. Everything could fall away, yeah. Society could burn in flames, but I won't need my arms or legs or eyes to find my way. 'Cause I got love.
CBC Vancouver is so lucky to have award-winning photographer Ben Nelms on staff. Here are a few images of the week we had, captured in only the way Ben can. And that's all for Our Vancouver this week. I hope you can join me weekday afternoons on CBC Radio 1 for On the Coast. Goodbye for now.